Okay, so here's a table of contents. These are the things that you're going to be working on by putting together your record label business plan. We're going to go over all these little mini plans in here. You're going to personnel plan, a products and services plan, a marketing plan, your customers, how are you going to plan your promotion or your advertising? Who are your competitors? What's your sales plan? Do you have an intellectual property plan or technology plan or finance plan? And you're going to put all these things together, and this will become your record label business plan. Now, keep in mind that when you're doing this, we're going to start with number 3, the company overview. You can't do the introduction just quite yet. We're not ready for the introduction. We want to know what we're doing first. And you can't really do the executive summary because it's a summary of the rest of the plan. So we got to come up with the whole ball of wax before we can come up with an executive summary. So just keep in mind that the executive summary is written last, but it's read first. So if you're sharing your business plan with a potential collaborator or investor, they're going to ask to see the executive summary, meaning that they'll read it first, but you've written it last. And you've written it last because it's a summary of the rest of the plan. If that potential collaborator is interested, then they'll say, hey, looks good, let me see the rest of the plan. So that's kind of how this works. So as far as putting together this presentation or putting together your business plan, you have to think about the different aspects that go into creating a record label business plan. There's several models for creating business plans, and as such, this is only one possible model. So make sure that you are writing a business plan which best reflects you as a record label executive. So you got to remember that you got to be thinking about your goals and objectives of your record label. This includes your promotion, your marketing, and all the things that you're going to do to make success in this industry. So what's in the plan? Well, basically, the business plan outlines your professional goals and how you will achieve those goals and the resources that you have or need to get in order to achieve those goals. It's basically the story of your career and your business. The business plans takes you from the idea stage to the action stage. At the very basic level, and perhaps the most important level, the business plan for the record label executive allows them to focus their thinking, set a realistic plan with realistic goals, and to get them moving toward their career. Additionally, the business plan can be used to bring in key players whom you might want to have as a part of your team. These key players might include prospective managers, marketers, publishers, manufacturers, or distributors. The business plan shows these people that you have thought about your career, planned how you want to achieve your goals, and treat your career seriously. Finally, the business plan are often used to obtain financing from investors, banks, venture capitalists, government, etc. So when you're preparing your business plan for your record label, consider the reader and the objectives. Research all the elements of the business plan and write the plan yourself. This is your plan for your company, so you need to think about how you're going to write it and write it yourself. Don't ask someone else to write it because it's their plan then. This is your plan. You write it. Develop an outline for key sections. I've done this for you. I provided you with the table of contents. Use realistic financial projections and gain feedback. In the introduction, this is written toward the end, but the record company will include a mini bio of the record label, the goals and the mission, the directors of the record label, the business formation of the record label, the philosophies and identities of the record label, and a vision statement. When we talk about the executive summary, this is the last thing written, as I just mentioned. It's normally 10% in size of the business plan, or about 1 or 2 pages. It's not too long. It should, at the very least, introduce the record label, describe the project briefly, make a request, overview the goals, and provide a synopsis of the marketing plan. When we talk about your company description, there are a couple little parts to this. There's a company structure. There's an organizational structure. Maybe there's the company operations and the company location, company layout, company objectives, maybe a summary of the artists that are on the label. And if it's just you, that's fine. Summary of the artist. A section on the keys to success and the milestones, the contingency plan and a short-term plan. You're going to wrap up all those and you're going to put them into the first part, which is the overview of the plan. The next part of the record label business plan would include personnel, including your management team or the artists that are part of your team, the musicians, the bands, the songwriters, the producers, maybe the artist and repertoire team or your artist relations team, your production team, your promotion team, your sales team, and the administration or sourcing that you may use. And then you're going to get into your products and services. We'll do this one at a time, but by the end of the semester, you'll have these completed. But you're going to look at your product development, your product strategy, your producing, your audio recording, and your mixing and editing, your mastering, maybe video recording, or your manufacturing and packaging, your pressing maybe of vinyl or CDs, and certainly your future products and services. Part 6 of your record label marketing plan might include a overview or a marketing plan in general, the market analysis, your market potential, your market segmentation, your marketing goals and objectives, and a SWOT analysis. And SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You'll also be looking at your product mix, your branding strategy, your credibility, your product testing, your targeted market strategy, your pricing policy, your packaging, and of course, your online marketing. Then we're going to look at your customers, record label customers. Who are these customers? Fan customers, entertainment industry customers. And then when you're looking at each one of those 2 customer types, what are their niches? What are their profiles? What are their demographics? And then we're going to look at your record label promotion plan. So we'll look at the promotion analysis and your objectives, your potential, your promotion strategies, and your communication strategies. We'll look at the idea of co-op promotions or radio promotions, video promotions, maybe performances, and the use of independent promoters. And then we'll be looking at advertising, including your strategy and your promotion and advertising together, how you work them together, your offline advertising, as well as your online advertising. And then we'll look at your record label competition, including the industry analysis, your industry participants, your competitive research and your competitive comparisons, and who are your main competitors, and then a strategy to deal with that competition. Then we'll look at your sales plan, including sales management, sales objectives, sales strategy, your pricing strategies, your profit sources, your sales forecast, your growth strategy and sales programs and affiliates that you might have. In addition, what about your merchandise sales strategy or your online sales strategies or your recordings or your performances or your publishing? All these need to be considered. What about distribution, including brick and mortar and online? We'll also look at licensing your content and ticket sales and helping your artists do ticket sales and ticket buys, as well as sales projections. The next part of your record label business plan might include your intellectual property, including copyrights, patents, trademarks, discography, performing rights organizations that your artists on your label are going to be belonging to. the registration of your intellectual property, as well as the content development and content clearances. Then we'll get into the technology plan for your record label, including your office technology, your promotion technology, your recording and equipment technology, and any software that you might use. And then we'll look at your finance plan for your record label. What's going to be your startup expenses? How about the use of funds or important assumptions? Do you have any key financial indicators? What's your break-even analysis or your projected profit and loss and your projected balance sheet? What about goodwill or accounting or working with an independent accountant's report or your forecasted finances, including your forecasted balance sheet, cash flow, operating expenses, assumptions, and revenue? And then we'll look at risk management and risk reduction, as well as an exit strategy. We'll also consider spending strategy and a return on investment, or your budgets, your ratios, and certainly your accounts receivable and accounts payable. And then we'll look at the resources, including related statistics or your industry involvement, your legal resources or your web-related sources, your research statistics and demographics, any trade publications or strategic alliances. We'll also look at the idea of agents, arrangers, attorneys, and distributors. All the other people that will be resources for you, including engineers, graphic designers, managers, manufacturers, merchandisers, third-party producers, promoters, publicists, publishers, videographers, and web designers. And just a few final thoughts. Make sure your business plan is professional and the tone is professional. Try to be upbeat, positive. Always be honest and show how you arrived at your conclusions. Always check your spelling and your grammar. Get someone to read it and provide you with some feedback. Remember, this is a business. So treat it like a business. And in order to do that, you need a plan. And this is your record label business plan.